this, US President Donald Trump's fast approaching Liberation Day sent stock markets swinging sharply worldwide. In fact, on Wall Street, the S&P 500 rose 0.6% in another roller coaster day after being down as much as 1.7% during the morning. But the reversal helped the index shave its loss for the first 3 months of the year to 4.6%, making it the worst quarter in 2.5 years. The Dow Jones Industrial Average also swerved higher after erasing an initial loss, and it climbed 417 points or 1%. But such neck twisting, these neck twisting turns have become routine for the US stock market recently because of uncertainty about what Trump will do with tariffs and by how much they will worsen inflation and grind down growth for economies. For further clarity, we have with us on the broadcast global economist Mitali Nikore joining us. Mitali, as always, thanks so much for making time for us currently. Now, the first quarter of 2025 has seen significant market downturns, with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ posting their worst quarterly performances since 2022, if I'm not mistaken, largely due to Trump's tariffs. Mitali, how do you assess the long-term impact of these tariffs, not just on US markets, but also on global trade dynamics?
So I think, first of all, Parmeshwar, thanks a lot for having me on your show.
Our pleasure.
And, the way I'm sort of seeing this unravel, it's very interesting, isn't it? Because at one point in the 1990s, when the president was Bill Clinton, we were in this liberalization era. We were in this era of, unlocking the competitive advantage of various countries, and the World Trade Organization was really at its strongest point. And today, it's almost feeling like it's a complete U-turn from there. And we're in this era today where, Mr. Trump can decide at any point to impose any sort of tariff on any country. And, from on April 2nd, we're definitely going to see reciprocal tariffs come into effect, which is that, if you are imposing an X percentage of custom duties or tariffs on any goods that are imported from the US, then exactly the same tit for tat tariff gets applied to your country pretty much automatically on that same commodity. And then on top of that, he's also speaking about automobile tariffs, which is an additional 25% on top of the reciprocal tariff. And then the third one being country-specific tariffs, which are, of course, halted at this point for Canada and Mexico because of the discussions. But on top of that, countries like Venezuela coming into the net, of course, China is in the net. So, we really have to see, we are going to see a new era of uncertainty. And this is really going to isolate the US from global trade. I feel that a lot of global supply chains will, be re-emerging because of this.
That's a very interesting perspective. As always, Mitali, thanks so much for making time for us and joining us with your quick views. Trump's economic agenda, we've seen, seems to lean heavily on protectionist measures. Many say that these tariffs, especially on key sectors like tech and consumer goods, they ripple through emerging economies, particularly India, which is heavily integrated into global supply chains. We'll have to wait and watch how exactly this plays out. I must also mention that Goldman Sachs has raised the probability of a US recession to 35% as we speak.